It is Safiria Lovery with Safiria's by Design. I'm here with a chest freezer organization video. I went out and purchased about $60 worth of fresh meat, but I'm not able to put it in my deep freezer right now because this one is looking like Frosty the Snow mess. So I need to get in here and declutter and organize it. If you'd like to see how this adventure turns out, then keep on watching. A lot of times when I come home from the grocery store, I kind of just chunk everything in just to make sure the items don't spoil. And so I end up just throwing things in here, and it's just not really in a very organized state. So I'm going to go through here and declutter first. Making a little bit of progress, but I still have a ways to go as far as pulling things out of the freezer. So here's a look at the items that I have taken out of the freezer. And sometimes when things get piled up on top of each other, you forget what you have. You also forget about how old something is. So for instance, this is something from 2021, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out. So here is a look at the bottom of the deep freezer, and I think I had the right idea as far as putting some containers in. So I think I'm going to keep that idea. You can see that I have a little Dollar Tree container full of the Luigi's Italian Ice and some of the Lindy's Italian Ice. These are my favorite. I love to take these and make some smoothies with them and different slush drinks with these. And then you can see that I made some use of the space in between the containers there. So I do have some meat items stuffed in that empty space there. Also, I have a plastic tote here, or basket, with items lined vertically, and so I could get more in there and I can see what I have instead of stacking them on top of each other. So I think I'm going to utilize yet another basket to help consolidate some of the meat. So I think I'm going to take some of these slimmer containers of meat and put them into the space that's left in the bottom of the container. So I see a bit of empty space here in this container, so I'm just going to fill it as best I can with some items that are able to stack up like that. I have a Cornish hen that I'm going to try to put down in here too. That fit in just nicely. I have a container of beef that I'm going to drop down in here as well. I like these little plastic bags that the store will give you so that the meat will not wet up the countertop and the conveyor belt next to the cash register. And these help to just keep the meat extra fresh and make sure there's no leaks. So I'm going to keep this plastic bag on my packages of meat and place them inside of my freezer. Okay, so here is what that plastic bin is looking like so far. And I think I'm going to take another plastic bin and stick it on top. So with the smaller items, I tend to put them in the basket that came with the deep freezer. So for instance, when I freeze my butter, I will just place it in this basket. It's very convenient to have it there right on top when I can get to it when I run out of butter in the refrigerator. I still have this batch of frozen items to put in the deep freezer, and that's not counting the meat that I purchased today. Here are the 9 packs of meat that I purchased in the store today. It's all chicken. It's just different cuts of chicken, mostly wings, and I have a few thighs back there and 1 package of drumsticks. So the first thing that I am going to do is take these bags and tie a knot in them to the back. And this is just an added layer of protection from freezer burn and any spilling. And it still looks nice and neat, and you can still see what you have in the bag. Okay, so all of my packs of chicken have been wrapped neatly in their little plastic baggies. So now I'm going to transfer them into a plastic container. I have a little plastic net basket that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I think that these particular packs of meat will fit in there fairly neatly, I'm hoping. So I'm just going to stack them up vertically like this until I fill up the basket. So I was able to fit 6 trays of chicken in this particular basket, filed in a vertical manner, and I think that that's going to work out. And so now I should be able to sit this right on top of the basket that's already in the deep freezer. So here is a look at the basket on top of the other basket. So if I need to pull out anything, I can do that with the basket instead of pulling out individual packs that are falling all over each other and stacked up on each other. So when you have rather large rectangular packages of meat like this, I do recommend taking them out of the package and breaking them down, as we call in the South. So for instance, I'm going to open this pack of chicken wings, and so I'm going to separate them into 2 different packages. So this first row in here will be in one package, and then the second row will be in another package. And so what I like to use for something this small to save space, rather than use a gallon size Ziploc bag, I'm going to go with a quart size freezer bag and put the wings in that way. And so that way I have a smaller container versus a large plastic bag that I'm trying to stuff down in the freezer. So I like to just take an ink pen and just label what's in here. And then anytime I'm working with raw meat, I do like to use my gloves. So I'm going to be putting these on as I grab and place them in the Ziploc bag. Yes, I should have opened this package before I put the gloves on, but I got it now. So I'm just going to take this top row and just put it in one of these bags. And as you can see, even this bag here is not even full yet, but I like how concise it is, and it's going to be very easy to fit in that deep freezer. Next, you just kind of want to push all of your wings down to the bottom portion of the bag and get all of that air out of that Ziploc bag before you seal it. So these are the remaining meat items that I have left, and now I feel like it's time to find room in the deep freezer, and I call this crevice finding time. So now I'm going to just place in the extra packages of meat in the leftover holes and spaces that I can see in the deep freezer. Here is what I was able to do with the rest of that chicken. Now you can see I can easily get to it. I can easily grab it, and if I need to move anything out of the way, it won't be all that hard because nothing is actually stacked on top of each other as far as individually to where they are dropping and falling all into the deep freezer. And then items like this I can just place right on top because it's so easy to just pull them out when you need to get to something else. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned for more content.